Hello. If you're somehow interested in business, economics, entrepreneurship, and other relevant disciplines, you have probably heard such statements like the interest of clients is our priority, meeting the expectations of the client, establishing long-term relationships with clients, etc. Different approaches and strategies exist to create a competitive advantage and promote your products and services. There is another approach that we would like to introduce to you today. We call it client as a reference point. We use it alongside value analysis, so let's consider several practical examples. This is a photo of the Ohio State University in the USA. The architects built the sidewalks on the university campus based on the footprints of paths that students often used. Since students and other campus residents know the best and shortest ways, the architects decided not to create the new routes and just put the concrete on top of the existing trails. Architects widely use this principle in planning public spaces worldwide. You can ignore the natural habits and preferences of the client, but then you risk getting something like this, as the client will still try to use the most convenient ways for them if there are no other obstacles. Another example, a beautiful idea of the architects, a skyscraper with plants on the balconies, a so-called vertical forest. At first glance, the idea is wonderful. But if we switch to the client's perspective, many problems arise immediately. Imagine coming home after a long working day and taking care of the plants and maintaining all this beauty at your own expense. Otherwise, you can bear the additional costs of hiring people to do so. There are plenty of other scenarios of what could go wrong. For example, some of the residents might be allergic to the plants. Plants can attract insects. The residents may not like the specific plants and may want to change them. There are dozens of different scenarios of what could go wrong in a given situation. There are development projects which failed because of a similar approach. These examples show that you must consider natural human traits like laziness, willingness to spend less, choosing the shortest path, and many others. Therefore, you cannot just imagine that you will create a perfect product or service and people will start to use it according to the manual and be happy. But the natural human traits can be exploited. To do so, you should not imagine a client, but rather analyze the actual qualities, actions, and patterns in the behavior of clients. For example, some people might have a natural desire to buy more groceries than necessary, as it might be tempting after you see them nicely located on shelves. At the same time, people want to avoid overwhelming themselves with the weight of the products, as they will have to carry them eventually. Therefore, the clients, especially women with children, restricted themselves to small baskets. The invention of the shopping cart, attributed to American entrepreneur Sylvan Goldman, helped to solve this problem, as now people can buy much more products than is physically comfortable for them to carry around. This example shows that if you work with real clients, you can benefit from their actions and behavior. But unfortunately, people tend to imagine a client and dream about the product they will create and get rich. Client as a reference point is a principle that should be used not only when you want to sell something. Your employee can be your client if you are developing job descriptions and career path experience. If you're developing very long and complicated instructions, you should not assume that your employee will get easily acquainted with all of them and will be 100% precise in compliance, especially under pressure and workload. Your boss can be your client if you are writing a report for him or her, a citizen of your country for whom you develop legislation, or your students for whom you prepare educational materials. You should remember a fundamental idea which we will repeat several times. There is a big difference between acting based on your own ideas, preferences and beliefs, and considering your client's interests, behavior patterns, stereotypes as point of reference. For example, there are time and workspace management techniques that suggest you write down all the duties, make checklists, download a bunch of applications, set daily control procedures, etc. However, people give up such techniques and methods after the first weeks of use. They are too cumbersome, uncomfortable, and take a lot of time for already busy and overloaded people. To develop a universal tool that people will widely use, you should consider all the expected limitations and behavior. Value analysis helps us to set and solve the problems not at the level of imaginary ideal product for the client, but at the analysis of actual actions, limitations, stereotypes and behavior of a client. This is a fundamentally different level of problem solving, and there are more chances that your product or service will be widely used and accepted by the customer. The problem is that the reaction of people cannot always be predicted with the necessary precision. There are lots of risks, unknown issues and unsolved problems in this subject. For example, maybe you are not so picky about food. If you cook dinner for yourself or go to a restaurant with a good friend, then the risk of something going wrong is minimal. However, suppose you arrange a dinner for business people with their wives, or you're responsible for catering in the first class of prestigious airlines. In that case, the number of risks and demands significantly increases. You have to consider various eating preferences, study customers' favorite meals, and be ready to accommodate custom arrangements for your clients. Experienced waiters can tell you about a lot of ridiculous requests from customers that had to be satisfied. Whether you like it or not, whether you share the customer's values and preferences, it does not matter. You have to separate your preferences from the client's point of view, which may be significantly different. Suppose you want to achieve a superior and competitive level of performance in various businesses. In that case, taking a client as a point of reference is crucial, not your own feelings. Unfortunately, this idea is not common among many entrepreneurs and business people. You can contact us for consultancy and training if you're an entrepreneur or business owner and need help in creative decision making for your businesses and organizations. We are hosting an online conference on application of value analysis and engineering techniques in various disciplines. You can register on our website. Participation in the conference is free if you register in advance. Our main project is creating a casebook on value analysis and engineering, with hundreds of cases so you can learn how to apply value analysis to your projects and problems. Please follow us on social media for announcement of the publication of the casebook. Thank you very much for your time and attention.